So I have been debating for a while, even as someone that is a fan, now former fan, I guess, of Shannon, aka Creepshow Art on YouTube, making a video about her because I had started noticing that there were some things that were really, shall we say, funky, I guess would be the right way to put it. And there were some weird timelines and whatnot that I noticed were going on, kind of suspicious a little bit, with like weird profile photos and some other things. And I kind of like talked myself out of doing it, even though Shannon has not been called out just this one time. She's also been called out for doing really poor research on a lot of her videos. And just a lot of stuff went down in the commentary community. And just as a huge fan of commentary content, I was really, really disappointed in how things seemed to be going with the commentary community. And then maybe a few days after the last time I had thought about making a video about Shannon, I stumbled upon the LOLcow drama. And it's bad. It's really bad. I have so many things on my screens right now. I will be putting relevant information up on the screen in post. I will be linking everything if anyone wants to go read specific like Twitter threads or community posts that Shannon made that we will be getting into in a while. But it is a whole lot. The situation is extraordinarily messy, and it's so much to go over. But the first thing that I really wanted to start with is I literally unsubbed to her channel today, and was honestly so heated that I really, really wanted to make a video, especially after watching a couple of the streams that were done by John's Popcorn Gallery. And she stated multiple times, like, even if you don't have a YouTube channel, if you do, no matter the size of your channel, if you're a viewer or were a viewer, make a video about it. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do that. So here we are. And honestly, my thoughts about this as someone that watched her content every single day, it was like a ritual for me almost. I'm really grossed out. I'm disappointed at the amount of just manipulation and lies. I almost want to throw gaslighting in there, but I don't know if that's really applicable to the situation because I don't know exactly what went on with her friends or maybe former friends now behind the scenes. But I almost want to throw that in there as well. There was even a time that Shannon shouted me out in one of her live streams by name and said that she recognized my name. And I was real happy about it, and I feel really stupid about it now. I'm going to put it up on screen.
UX, who is a massive supporter, I recognize your name anywhere, said, so happy you've been remonetized.
She knows who I am! So, yeah.
Thank you.
I feel extraordinarily stupid because I gave Shannon, I'm not going to say like hundreds of dollars or anything. I don't know. Could be. I gave Shannon a lot of money in donations when she was live streaming regularly because I like to support creators that I enjoy. And she had been going through a hard time around then. Her channel was maybe going to get taken down by YouTube. That was the whole situation when Ethan Klein from H3H3 saved her channel, and it's like, oh boy, do I feel dumb? Do I feel betrayed and just like manipulated her whole audience honestly feels the same way after going through a lot of the comments on the community post. So I did mention her friends, and Tipster is another content creator that I found recently and have been watching. I had no idea that they even knew each other. But he put out a video about her, and honestly, he looks devastated. He looks completely defeated. Ready to Glare, who I also really, really love, and literally every single person that has commented on the situation has said, "How can you be mean to Ready to Glare?" And that is an excellent question, because I too would like to know, how can you be mean to Ready to Glare? She is the nicest person, Shannon. Like, I don't understand publicly stating you are friends with somebody and then you go behind their back and you talk shit about them on LOLcow. It doesn't make any sense. Some other people that she has publicly been friendly with that she also apparently talked shit about was Edwin from Edwin's Generation, Sykkuno, who I'm not familiar with. I don't know if she said anything about Repzilla, but he has commented on the situation and said that he will not be making a video about it because, get this, she reached out to all of her friends and asked them to please not stand up for her publicly, which, Jesus Christ, what a power move. You have now effectively taken the people that are closest to you out of the equation of making long format videos on you and your interactions with them. And that also included D'Angelo Wallace. I did forget to mention that. That was another one of the people that she talked trash about, was D'Angelo Wallace. And you really don't want him making a video on you, I can tell you that, because his content is well researched, it's amazing and well edited, and it's great. It's really great. So pretty much everyone is asking Shannon to do the exact same thing. Address the situation. Say something publicly. Put your big girl pants on and admit it. Fess up. And I do have to state that at this point in time, these are, in big, gigantic red font, allegations. But I will explain to you why I actually believe all this to be true. But I have to state it is allegations at this point. And I also have to state, please do not go harass Shannon or anyone else that I have mentioned so far or will mention in this video, because we don't do that here. It's just it's a big no-no. But I wanted to talk a little bit about how Shannon's motto, her career on YouTube, has essentially been all along the building the brand around holding people accountable and like wanting people to take accountability for their own actions. And the fact that she is refusing to do that is really, really upsetting a lot of people, including me, obviously, and a lot of her fandom, I guess we'll call it, her fandom. And I'm sorry, I am kind of hunched over. This is a new microphone, obviously, and I don't know how close I have to be to it. I tested it a little bit, but yeah. Anyway, so taking accountability isn't an easy thing to do. And I actually do know this from experience. I was in a really, really, really bad state, mental frame, whatever you want to call it, and the stereotypical dark place for a long time, multiple years. And I drank a lot. And I fought with a lot of people. I made a lot of people uncomfortable, and I burned a lot of bridges. I lost friends over it because I was a very severe alcoholic. And what I did when I decided it was time to, like, hey, I got to grow up, take accountability. Even if I knew that those people probably hated me, didn't want to hear from me, I still reached out to them and I apologized for my behavior. Shannon needs to do the same thing. It's not easy. No one ever said it was gonna be. But she's expecting all these people that she's covering all the time to be accountable, hold themselves accountable for their actions, own your shit, that kind of thing. And she's refusing to do the same thing. And it's really, yeah, I don't know. I didn't really mean to make that motion, but yeah, it is kind of mind-blowing, I guess. That she's just not seeming to want to live up to what she has stated herself for so long, for lack of better phrasing. 1 second. I'm actually... Okay. I'm trying to make it better. Okay. So, at this point, I am going to go to the Twitter thread that credit to at dishsoap1234 on Twitter for compiling all of this information. It is a very lengthy piece of information. I may or may not be going over all of it. And if you see me also glancing off to the side, it's because this is a new kind of video for me. I did write a little bit of a script for myself. I don't usually do this kind of thing, but yeah, looking at a lot of things, it's kind of overwhelming. I'm very sorry. But so the main bullet points are: Shannon has been posting on LOLcow, aka a gossip site about influencers, since at least 2018. She was posting anonymously, but admins outed her as a punishment for pretending to be her own fans and haters. And I will be, like I said, putting up screenshots of all of these on the screen. So I wanted to really quickly, before I move on to why I believe this to be true, is touch on there was a situation, multiple situations actually, that seemed to have led up to this, involving both Toby Majestic and Hopeless Peaches. Toby Majestic put out a video about Creepshow art, criticizing her, basically stating the faults of Creepshow art. It was the title of the video, and was saying that she didn't do enough proper research. Like I stated earlier, that's where a lot of that comes from, is that big kind of hit piece of a video. Toby ended up not being a very good person. So that whole video kind of got like swept under the rug eventually after a little bit of an amount of time went by. And people were willing to give Shannon the benefit of the doubt. The situation with Hopeless Peaches was that they were friends at one point, and honestly, I'm still not really sure what happened even after following the drama with that for a while. They had some kind of falling out, and it ended up being this huge, massive mess on YouTube. So I want to talk about why I believe this to be true. So the way that LOLcow functions is that they collect metadata from people who access their website, like cookies and such. This is to preserve site settings for returning users. You can post anonymously, but they still have your metadata stored, your cookies, in their servers or whatever you want to call it. I guess server would be correct. I hope I'm explaining this well. So you can't duplicate those. Those are per user, as well as being able to use those to backtrack a user to their IP address, which is specific per your, like, pretty much per your location, your internet router, and also device. And there were multiple IP addresses that were traced that all completely lined up, even when Shannon had moved, to be in line with devices that she had where she was and all of that. LOLcow has outed another creator, or I'm not sure if it was a creator, actually, another member, I guess, a farmer at some point. And they go into a lot of detail about how this thing is kind of absolute. And I don't know if you guys know this, but my actual job is I'm in IT. I'm not in networking or anything like that, but I know enough about cookies and IP addresses and MAC addresses to know that it would be extraordinarily difficult to spoof an IP address, let alone multiple, which I'll get into why I mentioned that later, over a period of 2 years. It's possible, but it's really, really highly unlikely that someone would be able to do that for 2 years with multiple IP addresses on multiple devices that belong to one person, if you see where I'm going with this. So that's the point where I was like, oh, okay. So it's not a good situation then. So one of the posts on here I want to briefly touch on, just because of how extraordinarily disturbing it is. It's really, really it's really disturbing. Well, I'll let it speak for itself. When her sister was in the ICU, Shannon posted her social media to LOLcow, posted her sister's personal Twitter account to LOLcow, trying to have her attacked for being too much of a SJW. And as I mentioned previously, she posted insults towards her friends, Ready to Glare, D'Angelo Wallace, and Edwin's generation. She called people fat, autistic, ugly, and the R word for mentally handicapped. About D'Angelo Wallace, Shannon says, D'Angelo is the guy that everyone pretends to like, but no one really does. He tries to get in tight with a lot of them, and because he talked about drama and made Holly look like a tool, they befriend him for safety. I think Holly sucks, but before HUD video came out, no one in the community said shit. When she decided to rebrand and delete, and is pretty much at zero still, they're all scared of that. Which is not a nice thing to say about someone you have said was a friend. Oh, wow. Okay, so this one I actually hadn't seen yet. There is a response from D'Angelo Wallace listed on the side, where it says, the reason I've never made a video about LOLcow is because they're not just interesting enough to be profitable. If LOLcow videos did well, I'm sure I'd have a whole catalog, because there's one thing I love more than attention from my anonymous image boards. It's money. Hey man, not gonna fault you. Makes the world go round. And then he subtweeted, it looks like himself, saying whoever, or just posted immediately afterwards. I'm not sure how Twitter works, honestly. But he said, whoever posts my tweets on LOLcow, hurry up, I'm bored. Want to see the response. So he knew that this was happening, which is, it's got to be just mentally strenuous to know someone is literally taking things that you're saying, posting them on that website to talk shit about you. And it ended up being someone that was supposedly his friend. The thing that Shannon said on LOLcow, he's worse than Creepshow, because she refers to herself in the third person, pretending like it's not her. He's worse than Creepshow. At least she had the ability to grow up and is doing something completely different than what she started with. He's doing the same thing on repeat, acting like he's doing something big, and now admits to creeping on LOLcow. Really, Shannon? Really? Oh, wow. Okay, so yeah, this is the comment that I've been hearing going around, that is in reference to Ready to Glare, apparently. where she says she is to women are predators to guys as Blair White is to these trans people are weird. Yikes. That is extraordinarily messed up. It's really, really, really messed up. And like I said, I don't want to go over every single little thing, or this video would be ages and ages long. But just most of her posts are either about her own online persona and content, or about her drama with Hopeless Peaches and Toby Majestic. Like I said, it felt like those led up to this, in which she calls Peaches a leech who sucks, creeps, shows Donkey, and Toby Shannon 2.0. Too many posts to even screenshot. Link at the end of thread. And she also said a really lot of extraordinarily terrible things about trans people and the LGBTQ plus community. And if you don't know, Shannon has always portrayed herself as an ally and stated that she was bi and all this other stuff. So the fact that she is using, I'll put it on the screen, but I'm not even going to say it. It's gross. Using this kind of language towards trans people. And that's really messed up, dude. It's really messed up. It's extremely hurtful. And it's really messed up. I'm going to move on from that. It's fucking gross. And I believe I did mention about Sykkuno. This is the post about that, and basically says that Sykkuno uses beauty filters because his skin is really messed up. And that it's messed up because he's Asian? What, Shannon? Because he's Asian? That's what makes it so bad? Hey, Shannon, guess what? I've got really messed up skin. I've got like spots all over my arms because I have keratosis pilaris and also dermatillomania. Come at me, bro. Fuck off with that shit. I was trying not to swear, but I'm getting so heated the more I get into this. Yeah, there was a whole situation where she actually manufactured an entire argument in which she plays both sides to make herself look bad or good or something is exactly what the person that posted the image says. And it's so bizarre. It is such bizarre behavior. I have seen people like way zoom in on this image. I don't know if I will. Again, like I said, we'll link to the whole entire Twitter thread if you want to go read it. But yeah, she literally argues back and forth with herself on like different anonymous accounts about herself. Like, bruh. Like, seriously. Stop it. Stop it and get some help. Seriously. I believe that is about it for the Twitter thread. I don't know if I can stand to go into more detail on that because there's a lot of really just unpleasantness in there, and it's bad. It's bad news bears. So I did also want to mention, though, I believe also it listed somewhere in the thread that she made 3 different videos on the Game Grump stalker, but that apparently turned out that was a homeless woman who was also schizophrenic, and Shannon was sending people to harass this woman no matter how many different accounts she created. And that is called weaponizing your fandom, and it's extremely uncool. It's one of the most messed up things that you can do if you have a large fandom is weaponizing it. That is Gabby Hanna energy. Okay? That's, I don't even know how to put it. It's so manipulative and dishonest and just twisting the facts into her favor. So it looks like this woman, she's just a bad person. So that makes it okay for us to go harass her. Man, no, it's ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. I'm sorry I keep messing with my hair. It's what I do when I'm uncomfortable. It's so ridiculous. So at this point, I did want to go over when I mentioned that I had noticed some weird stuff going on with her YouTube channel. It was because first, her profile picture went blank randomly after having the same one, which I believe will be my thumbnail for this video for forever. And honestly, it's really well done art. I don't know if she drew it, but it's good art. Take that for what you will. But it went blank after ages of using that as her profile picture. And then this happened. And she was being criticized about, I don't know much about this situation, about something to do with someone called Hello Leash that also apparently has something to do with Gabby Hanna, which is a whole mess. I don't know if I'm going to look into that or not. Gabby Hanna also really upsets me. But yeah, she changed it to glitched out profile picture and banner and said it was hackers. She also deleted her entire community page. The entire thing. Hackers. Definitely hackers. And some of the community apparently called her out on it, asking, did you delete all of your previous community posts? And sorry, I clicked on the wrong image. Shannon says, they're still there on my end. Literally all of them are there. I just think because of the hacking situation, something was changed that I can't figure out. It's weird. No, Shannon, you deleted your entire community page. That's what happened. And someone responds saying, a hacking situation. I wonder why it's not affecting your uploads, and saying they aren't there either, which, yes, just yes. That's not how that works. And someone below mentions, are you planning on ever addressing any of the questions? Which ties back into the stuff that I had first started noticing that was weird, because apparently Hopeless Peaches, that whole situation got blown massively out of proportion. As I said, I still don't fully understand that drama. I don't really understand what she did to make Shannon and everybody like lash out the way that they did and say that she was a terrible person. But a lot of the information that Shannon and another creator named Prisonmate Luke stated was found out to be extraordinarily false. Coming back to that whole poor research thing there, bud. And yeah, that there was a lot of false information in the video. And without getting too deep into that, her Instagram comment sections on her art that she was posting on her Instagram it was literally flooded with people asking her to apologize to Hopeless Peaches and address that situation, which she just flat out ignored. She literally refused to say anything. She didn't even make a community post about it. Not a comment on a video, change a title, take a video down about it. Nothing. She refused to address that situation. And she, I think, originally was deleting comments about it, but the numbers were too big. There were way too many people that were asking her to address it, and she literally never did. And that was one of the first things that I noticed where I was like, something is up. something's weird. Something's going on here. I really don't like it. But I kept like convincing myself to just not look into it any farther, and here we are. Oh boy. At this point in time, Shannon has also completely removed all of her posts off of her Instagram account, leaving us with only a story time post, which I screen capped in case she deleted that too. So this states, when I say I'm handling this legally, I mean I'm handling this legally. I am most likely not going to post until I can prove without a shadow of a doubt that what occurred was not my doing. So I guess this is goodbye until then. And then she states, for those asking if I'm okay, no, I'm not. Everyone close to me is now confused as to what my moral character is. I've seen posts from people I've supported in dark ass times saying I always knew something was wrong with her. And I'm realizing more and more a lot of what I thought were friendships were not. Shit like this fundamentally changes you. And I'm going to deal with this by myself. See you soon. I don't know how she plans to legally prove that she didn't do anything. And it's just, it's so weird. It's such a weird move. I don't understand. It seems a little bit like a sympathy card to me. So after that, she put up this extreme, I mean, I don't even know what to say. It's a massive community post. It is literally a novel. It is huge. And this is the community post that I referenced earlier that I will be also linking, I will be linking and also putting in the description. The community is upset. Everyone's upset. I was just poring over all of the comments. So many people feel, I guess, exactly the same way that I do. They trusted her. They believed her. They liked her. I liked her. And, yeah. Turns out to be a terrible person. Really glad I gave her my money. But let's go over this absolute behemoth of a community post. And this is where you will understand, like, just exactly how ridiculous her defense is, and reaffirms further what I believe about the LOLcow admins stating what they did about the IP addresses and the cookies and all of that. Because, like, sure, you can spoof an IP address, but you can't spoof cookies. You literally cannot duplicate that information. So let's just go over this. It's long. This post is just going up because I need to talk about this and let you know what's going on. Earlier today, I got a message saying that I had doxed a relative, that I had been called out for saying certain things about myself and other creators and more on a hate forum. And I was confused because I hadn't done that. I would remember doing that. Would you, Shannon? Would you remember? Anyway. Especially the doxing. That's so firmly against what I stand for, and I don't believe in doing that even to someone I loathe. However, after being sent screenshots of what I allegedly said about me, myself, you already included yourself there. Did you need to include yourself twice? Is your ego that big? Yeah. My friends, and most importantly, my relative, I realized what had happened. Which, if you were in this situation, don't you think you would react a little bit differently? You would be extremely shocked if this were actually true. You would be like, what the heck is going on? You would be confused, at least a little bit at first, because after the LOLcow outing, where they just exposed her, came out, this was pretty immediate. It was like almost right away that this post came out. Like the timeline all lines up and all that. Check the dates. Anyway, a couple years back, I made a video about how I had been stalked for over 8 years by a woman I called Amy. That's not her real name. This is important. We'll get back to this later also, because I was protecting her identity. I talked in detail about that situation, how it affected me, and what I had to do in that situation to keep myself safe. But I also discussed how Amy and I kind of reconciled, and at the end of that and came to an understanding. Would you reconcile with someone that supposedly stalked you? Because I sure wouldn't. She even liked the video and supported me making it. We kept in contact over the past couple of years, and I thought we kept a good amount of distance between us, never letting her close enough to hurt me again. Apparently, I am really shitty at that. Moving on. Obviously, I was wrong because she has gone back to doing what she has always done, which is to try to hurt me, try to turn the people in my life against me, and salivate, such a weird word to use, at the idea of me losing everything. She did this for years, even when I didn't have anything, to the point where when I was dating my husband, she sent him text messages telling him I was a horrible person and he should leave me. She made fake Facebook accounts, to tell people about what a terrible person I was, and she just spent years messing with me nonstop to the point where I wanted to, we're going to call it commit game over. I had a sneaking suspicion she had been going back to this earlier this year. That's weird phrasing. I'm sorry. When I started receiving more and more images of self-harm and abuse in my inbox, because that was one of the biggest things she would do to me. And one thing that I want to throw in here about this right now is I don't even know if I believe that people were doing this. I feel like people maybe were getting a little bit too close to discovering the truth. So she just closed her DMs because of that. Because that story is actually something that happened to Ready to Glare, and it really deeply traumatized her. So did you throw that in there to make yourself seem more sympathetic, Shannon? Because sure seems like you did. Okay, yeah, this is really messing with my eyes. I'm looking somewhere that I don't have this post up, and it's... Ugh, this is gonna have a lot of jump cuts. I didn't want to believe it though, because I am a polarizing creator, and some people on the internet just don't have boundaries. It's why I had to shut down my Instagram, and low-key why I had to shut down Twitter. No, you had to shut down your Twitter because you were really mean to people, and Dustin Daly said so in his video that when he interacted with you, you were not nice to him. I have stated publicly and behind the scenes that the amount of harassment I have received has gone down by 100% when I deleted Twitter, of course. And now I know why. Because of Amy. So I am actually going to leave that there. As far as reading the entire thing out. Like I said, it's extremely long, but I think you get the gist of what she's trying to say. She's trying to say that somebody that stalked her, that she claims has stalked her for over 10 years, she reconciled and became friends with, right? Her stalker became friends with them. And then they spoofed her IP address, multiple IP addresses from multiple devices on LOLcow for 2 years. Just let that sink in. Shannon then goes on to say that she's going to pursue legal action, which I don't know what legal action she's going to be pursuing. Because there is more on if Amy is even real. If Amy is even a real person. Because the creation of Amy it seems is in relation to a stalking situation, but not in the way that you think. Which brings me to the Emily Artful allegations. Emily Artful is a apparently really lovely person. I didn't even know about her until earlier today, but everyone that I've been listening to in the videos that I have been watching about the situation all day, basically, has stated that she's a really nice person. Her art's really good. I went and looked her up on Instagram. She's also got a Twitter if you're into those kind of things. Her art's really beautiful. It's really nice, like more than I could ever hope to achieve artistic wise, because she does stuff with like watercolor paint and it's very realistic. It's lovely. If you're into art, I would recommend going and following her and giving her some love, because apparently Shannon is actually the stalker and Amy is Emily. Right. So this is where we get into even more of the Shannon's a Karen. She's the Karen, the edge Karen of YouTube. I did not come up with that myself. I saw it somewhere else earlier, but if it is not the truth, then I don't know what is. It's very accurate. It's disappointingly accurate. So Emily Artful stated, "This just needs to be said. This woman has tormented me for years and years." Literally, if the timeline is correct, then it's been like over a decade that Shannon has been stalking this person. "I know her because my ex-boyfriend dated her after me," which I wonder if that's who she claims is her husband now, which would kind of be nuts, honestly. "I moved on, but they continued to harass and stalk me." And Shannon also did a whole bunch of other things, like creating sock accounts, trying to antagonize Emily over like thumbnails, and directly stole thumbnails and titles from Emily. Creepshow did. That phrasing was kind of Yoda-esque, but we're going to go with it. And just really seemed like she just wanted to be Emily. It's a really upsetting situation there. I can't even imagine the amount of mental anguish that this person has been going through. Like, I went through a bunch of the comments on the threads with Emily, and it's just, I literally can't even imagine. It seems insane. It is. It's literally, Shannon, it's batshit crazy behavior. It's literally crazy person behavior to stalk someone. And for 10 years, for 10 years, cyber stalk someone and try to ruin their career, their life. She's apparently gotten Emily fired from multiple jobs, tried to use her former drug addiction against her, which is why I mentioned my alcoholism earlier, because fuck that. If anyone's gonna come for me, I'm gonna just be upfront about it. If that's the kind of game we're playing, and you're gonna use someone's former addiction against them after they have cleaned themselves up and straightened up their act, that's really, really fucked up. And again, I've been trying not to swear, but I'm getting heated. I'm getting way too heated. There is a whole thread on Emily's Twitter that I will be linking, of course. It's just, it's so much to go through. Like I said, this situation is incredibly messy. I'm glancing at my time over there, and this video is already 45 minutes long. Like I said, it's an insane amount of information to go over, and I don't do commentary. I really don't do commentary. It's so much to go over. It is so much. But apparently Emily Artful is going to be coming through with receipts. So that's going to be a thing that Shannon, you can't wiggle. You can't, if she has proof, which she says she does, and it's on multiple devices, like old devices that she still has in her possession, and she's coming in with the receipts. There's literally no coming back from that, and I don't know if Shannon should, because clearly she cannot handle the fame from YouTube. She cannot handle having a massive audience. She cannot handle being socially nice to people and not talking shit about them behind their backs. I mean, that's just basic stuff of being a person. Like, that's just basic being a person stuff. I don't know. It's my brain just broke. It's such a terrible situation. I do want to try and get this wrapped up. So I very briefly want to go over the last couple of things that I wanted to touch on. Sorry, this section is going to be a little bit brighter. I am very pale, as you can tell. I'm looking at myself to see if it looks okay. I've also been constantly checking my camera because this one has been known to randomly unfocus, which is kind of BS because it's a new camera. But yeah, just trying to make sure that it's not doing the thing that I've seen it do. So as of this point, as listed on Shannon's Social Blade profile, on Wednesday the 2nd, she is down 2,013,553 views. What you deleting, Shannon? Bunch of videos about your stalker that doesn't exist? Trying to cover your own butt? Sure seems that way. Man, I look pale. I'm going to try to fix it in post. It's very... I don't look like I have a face. And also today... Oh, she's deleted another video I just saw. Today she deleted a video. I'm guessing it probably could have been one, but that had 128,794 views on it. So she deleted something else today. She also has lost... Gosh, how many is this? There's so many. Getting my calculator. Hang on, please. I'm so sorry. This is making it worse. Oh, gosh. At time of recording, Shannon has lost 20,000 subscribers. That is a massive, massive number. That is so many. That is so many. I can't even imagine having that amount of subscribers, let alone losing that amount. She was at like 500,000 subs when this whole thing started, and now she's lost 20,000 subscribers for being a shitty person, which is very justified. I think that about covers it for everything that I really wanted to go over. Like I said, the situation is absolutely insane. It's batshit crazy. Shannon, you're a horrible person. And I'm struggling not to say human person because I watched your content that much. And you have hurt your community. You have hurt your friends. And you have hurt the commentary community more than I think you're ever going to be able to properly register, because I don't even think you care about anybody but yourself. I think that's about it. I'm going to quote Turkey Tom here and say, until next time, leave me alone.